You find yourselves as the morning stretches on. Things seem a bit empty in here, which gives you an odd impression. You have some time to get ready today. Occasionally from the north, you hear the sounds of a knife chopping the stem of a melon or the sounds of people heaving them into carts. When you leave the Lonesome Tankard, you will venture north on the road past the working fields. Rain. You hover somewhere between consciousness and the other place. Let us speak first. Fulmari, close your eyes and dream with me. Rain, you find yourself somewhere ancient. This is an old place with many memories. There is a rickety, flimsy ladder leading upward. The air here is very still, and the smell is that of a tomb. A desiccated skeleton is leaning against an ancient cairn stone. The cairn is a 6-foot tall cone of granite that has been inscribed with runes, a mile marker of sorts. This one indicates the interface between the Upper Dark and the caves beneath the Temple of Lathander that is north of Dawngleam. Open your eyes. From behind the cairnstone walks a figure, a gaunt man with a sunken face. His wrists are thin, and his hair is sparse and gray, but his eyes rip into you like hooks. This universe loves architects. A chain of events that I started drew in your brother and led him down to this place where he found this. He uneasily uses a boot to slide something across the floor to you. It sounds heavy and metallic as it glides across the stone. You know this from his letters to you. When he was beneath the earth with his companions, he used what fractions of what wax remained in his party's candles to pen correspondence. He pursued an artifact of great importance. He did what I wanted, even though I never knew him. He unwittingly did my will, even though he never knew my name. What do you think of that, Rain?
I think he did his own will. I think... Fuck. Even in this dream state, Rain is crying briefly. He fumbles to the sensor wrapped around his arm, strikes a match there, and then takes that flame and lights what's on the ground. I think I'll carry out his will. I think I'll carry out mine. I don't need to know your name. I know his.
You lean down to light what on the ground on fire? The lamp on the ground?
The lantern, yeah. From the sensor's flame to it.
You do so. The Baron studies you for a long moment. I wonder how it is, then, Rain, that you will come to affect your will.
Keep your eyes open, sweetheart. I think there's gonna be a hot morning. Rain will lean down and grab the top of the lantern and take his other arm to the top of the ladder. Sorry.
You climb upward, up the ladder.
He does so. Sorry, I think I cut myself off there. He does so.
You do so, climbing up toward the light. Meanwhile, in the Lonesome Tankard, and outside the Lonesome Tankard, the action is with the party.
We were about to go see if Rain has yet awakened.
He always shows himself when he is well ready to.
I think I should be the one to wake him. I'll do it.
Why?
Well, he gave me something to read last night. I'm just going to give it back to him.
Let the man sleep.
I'll shove myself away from the table. I'll push my ear to the door first.
You do so. Your ear pressed up against the cool chestnut hears nothing. You hear no snoring. Someone could be in there, but no obvious sounds of sleep.
I'll gently knock and say, Rain, I have the papers you gave me last night, thanks. I don't want you to oversleep before we make any big decisions.
If I may. Rain would have gone to sleep pretty hastily. He definitely didn't lock the door. If the door were to open when you knock on it, you'd find Rain atop the bed, face down, no covers on, still fully clothed and a little sodden. To his right, he's gripping something tightly. A small trickle of blood is dripping to the ground. He's gripping it so tightly that it's cut his hand.
I'll rush in when I see the blood.
He's holding on to something you've probably seen him fiddle with from time to time. It's a long pillar of crystal, like a quartz, probably. His knuckles are white wrapped around this thing.
You're bleeding.
Oh, fuck.
I didn't even think Elf slept.
You startle him awake easily, but he does not drop the quartz. We don't really.
What? We should get no way to look at your hand. What happened?
He'll
Were your
look down
dreams
at
that
it.
poor?
Maybe one day I'll wax poetic about how the difference of dreams and trance are, but no, they were better than I could have expected. He pats himself down a bit and tries to fix his hair. He'll sit up, though.
I will hand back the sheaf of papers that you handed me last night.
Oh, yeah, good. He'll pretty hastily put them back into his pack. Did you find anything? I couldn't make heads or tails of them. You'll see him slowly pocket the thing that caused his hand to bleed into the same pack.
Can I make an Arcana check to see the depth of my knowledge here? This was on Laird's secret magic injection lair.
I believe you've already rolled the appropriate roll. You've already investigated these.
You're right, I
believe.
have. Yes, I do remember.
So I can revisit that, but there's nothing new you could discern here. These are the papers that relate to time and initials, and you've already scryed a bit at your knowledge.
Yes. I'll relate this information to Rain. I noticed there are some initials here and times. I'm not completely sure about who it's for, but if I'm being honest, nothing in the past week has seemed without some nefarious hook into it. So, of course, I think something bad is happening.
Another one for the docket, truly. Rain will be scanning the room as he stands up. Does he notice anything out of the ordinary?
What are you looking for?
The lantern.
No,
I'll take that more as a metaphorical thing then. I suppose we should get together then. Breakfast? Did Julianne ask them for breakfast? Please tell me she did. So I'll make his way towards the door.
Ed got up and left with Rebecca, and it was pretty tense. I thought she was going to fight one of us. Thought she was going to fight Julianne.
Rain shrugs? I'm sorry, why? Was there a bit of a tiff?
Julianne just asked them to explain their big little secret that they have going on, and they wouldn't say. Same thing as always. So many secrets, so pointless.
I'd love to say that I know Ed well enough to know why anything. Breakfast. How's breakfast sound?
Yeah, okay.
Kason, dear.
Yeah.
Do you know how to cook?
My tastes are probably a little bit rustic, but
Do you know how to cook a standard
You can
breakfast
skill
meal?
it. yeah. I am the one that sort of ran our bartender off, so
If you
I
wouldn't
will,
mind preparing breakfast since you
Yeah.
broke news to Mikhail before we could eat.
Do you think you could maybe offer Kason an apology in addition to commanding him?
No.
Julianne.
It's okay. I deserve it. There's a lot of stuff we should talk about. I will get on breakfast first, and he'll kind of look out the window, and I think he'll just barely see Jucky out of the corner of his eye, and he'll use it's a little further. Okay. He'll use thaumaturgy to make his voice boom and go, hello out there. What are you doing out there, strange elf? Come in and have breakfast with us. And then he'll go in the kitchen.
No, I will offer him an apology when I actually see him for more than 15 minutes and am able to have more than 2 sentences of conversation with him. At the moment, Rain requested breakfast. I put in the request. I did my part. He broke news to Mikhail before this could be made.
Are you not an alchemist? Could you not at least assist him?
We don't need any potions mixed in with the breakfast.
I think Noe sighs and sort of leans back, very straight backed, and she says,
No, this is also more of a test of, is he competent in anything besides fucking things up and
Excuse
disappearing?
me? You have no idea what he's done for us.
You're right, I don't.
What have you done for us?
Who knows?
Speaking of people who disappear and apparently fuck up.
I
Tilda?
will apologize. I only vaguely know what happened at the river, and I'm sorry I wasn't there. I should have just given up trying to bring Erilyn back, and I should have gone to meet with you guys. I didn't know things would be that bad.
No, I do not accept this apology, because if you had not come to my manor with Erilyn in hand, I have no idea how that encounter with Lord Elcinerat would have gone.
I was trying to take a hostage, but it didn't go well. I'm trying to track who knows what. Does everyone in this room know that Erilyn was a vampire? I think.
What?
Oh yeah, he's a vampire. He kind of.
Is that why
let
you
me
attacked him?
Well, I remember he had sharp teeth, and I thought that was a little bit weird, but I thought that maybe city elves were just like that. I kind of just took him hostage just in case they had, like, Laird or Ed or someone, but I used divine sense, and I felt, when we were in the cave, I felt a vampire nearby. I wasn't sure. I heard Griffin, so I thought maybe it might be Erilyn. There was something else, but that's for another time.
So why? Wait, you didn't attack him because he's a vampire?
Well, I confirmed it by, sticking
Wait.
my finger in his mouth. I promise I'm not a vampire, but I stuck my finger in his mouth and he bit me, so he's definitely a vampire and a jerk.
Wait. So you knew he was a vampire and you stuck your hand in his mouth?
I'm not a smart person.
We've parsed that much. It can just sticking your finger in their mouth isn't going to make you a vampire. It's more of a process from them, like a bestowment.
And then I gave him a bunch of blood-soaked pears, which was the last of my rations, and I'm taking this with a grain of salt because I have no way of knowing if he was telling the truth, but he kind of told me his whole plan and offered to turn me into a vampire and give me mind-reading powers, which I said no because I was a servant of the Morning Lord. I'm not anymore.
You had a busy night.
It was
What
a busy
happened?
night. I broke my oath, and now I'm a cleric of Ilmater.
The bleeding god? I guess
Yeah.
that's appropriate based on what you just told me.
Yeah. So Erilyn said something about he was looking for an artifact, and that his father and the rest of the elves are going to Isherin, but he thinks it's here.
Back in town.
Like either in Evening Star or I wonder if under it. My divine sense gave me some kind of vision. It almost looked like a mining operation in a clearing or something like that. I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of it, but he said he's looking for some kind of artifact relating to his condition as a vampire. And
Spell.
that's most of that.
I wonder if that's at all related to the recent harvest we've had that's been so enormous. And Ed and Rebecca's caginess, sorry, no way, your mother. There's something afoot in the town, and the elves are here, and the Flaming Fist are here. Sorry, Julian, no offense. But why is everybody here if not for something powerful? I always knew this town had something to it.
Yes.
Yes.
I've said as much. As why I'm here.
It's also
Among
why
other
I'm
things.
here.
Also, to be more clear, I've told her this. Your town is situated directly above the Underdark.
I guess that's why Kareen is here.
Oh yes, I sent her that way.
Sent her to the Underdark?
I sent her to deal with a giant ooze. I was hoping she could either deal with it or die, one of the two.
I don't know if she can die.
Let's hope.
It's rude.
Is it?
Just gestures towards the giant altar to Lolth in.
I don't judge.
I do.
A paper
A
spider.
little
judges
judgment
you.
may keep you safer.
All right, hold on. Before we do our thing and just bicker our lives away, Kaysen, I'm sorry. Thanks for telling us all that.
I have more. I feel like this will just make it worse, but there is more. I might as well just get this out in the open now, and he'll kind of just like thunk this gigantic
Oh,
book
my
down
goodness.
on the table. I
Down
suppose I
on the
was
table if you're going to have a discussion. Let me get.
no, I'm trying to cook. He's like halfway burning things as he's cooking. Oh,
Julian, if you
fine.
want food so much, why don't you just cook it yourself?
I am now.
I got things chopped.
Okay.
Sit. Go sit.
I was mostly
Randy,
honest about why I
usual.
came here.
Sorry, what?
Do you want your usual?
Anything work.
Yes, yes.
Where's
So what's this then?
It's like peering out the window. I originally came here, not necessarily specifically to Evening Star, but just, I guess, sort of this forest in general. I was vaguely looking for an artifact, but only halfway, because I never really wanted it to begin with. Some kind of sword. some kind of buried sword. Supposed to be raised in Lathander's name, but that's not happening anymore, so this is just a piece of junk. But I can't help but wonder if it's the same one everyone else is looking for, and it really does exist.
So Lathander wants it, the Fist want it, the Town Elders want it, the Elves want it, Arlen wants it. Who that bounty hunter that came in probably wants it.
Yeah, what is he up?
Who?
There's a strange alpha.
The
Some-
Bog Walker.
Oh yes, the Bogwalker. Sorry, I'm so acquainted.
Tilda will laugh.
So
I'm
we
not
have
sure if
yet
that's
more
a weird racist thing to say, Julian. He's just an elf.
Somewhere where you traverse, and stating as such, is not racist.
See what elf? Rain mumbles under the Discord.
Yes.
It's a little racist.
In an attempt to calm himself down, Kason has literally just spread a bunch of paint bottles over the table and is repainting one of his pauldrons.
Okay, so there's a magic sword buried somewhere, either between the ruins of Ishrin or here or anywhere, and everyone's all over a tizzy over it. So that's why we have 15 different factions all trying to take over.
Oh yeah, when was the last time anyone saw Erlen? I'm a little suspicious of what he's up to.
And probably when you knocked him out and then drug him over a shoulder. Since then, no.
The last was at the estate.
So his father took him then.
Safe to assume.
Why do we care about this guy? Kason, what's the deal? Like, why is this guy so important to you?
I don't know. A vampire who's the son of the most powerful elf in the land getting hold of a legendary weapon. I can only just hope he uses that somewhere far from here, but somehow I don't think that's going to be the case.
Oh, so you attacked him because he's after the same sword as you, and Lathander wanted it too.
I never wanted it. Someone died for this book, and I only just this morning managed to really open it and flip through it. It was always supposed to. I don't think it was ever my destiny.
And one last question. You went through a lot, and I'm really sorry to interrogate you. So like, you made a new oath. Did you just like talk to Ilmater? Like, was it awkward with Lathander?
As per usual, I didn't really hear anything from Lathander. I almost wonder if like I'm just catching echoes, you know, if he's not really even there anymore. But no, it wasn't awkward. I feel like Ilmater is a better fit for me anyways. This is a little bit rough, but I think my pauldron looks a little bit better. Maybe I'll keep one of each, because the other was a gift. I'll have mismatches.
Tilda roll religion, DC 10, to delve at the significance of that. Jucky Sourstump. Throughout, you see Kason staring at you through the window and making eye contact with you. What was the result of that religion roll?
19.
Something about that seems significant to you. The fact that Ilmater talked and answered. Who does have Lathander's domain now?
I was gonna ask, do I know if this is like post spell plague, post sundering? Like, would Tilda know that there's some kerfuffle with god mantles?
Yes, exactly. Yes, Tilda would be aware of the general post Second Sundering chaos and rush for domains and almost the land grab, and would notice the significance immediately of Ilmater spoke to me directly. Lathander has never spoken to me directly, and how significant that would be. And I'm sorry, please continue.
Kaysen, it's probably no mistake that Lathander never answered you, and Ilmater did.
What
And
do you mean?
who knows where the gods are right now and what they're doing, and if they're even there listening. I would far rather, for myself, and if I was in your shoes too, I'd rather this for you. If you were pledging your life to somebody who actually gave a shit, and it sounds like Ilmater does.
Yeah, I think things worked out for the best. Oh, remembered another thing from last night. Rain, a lot of very mean people are looking for you. I met
How so?
I met yet another vampire. They're everywhere, and because I have a bleeding heart, guess what I did?
Just right in there again, didn't we?
Right in there. Yeah, this
Mhm.
time I kind of lost like a significant part of Palm. Yeah, if you encounter that bard, QE, the human or half-elf looking one, keep your distance a little bit. Yes, he was terribly concerned about a vampire hunter, and I said, no, you're not going to look in that corner of my brain. And he tried to kill me because I wasn't forthright about that. So just be careful out there.
I appreciate you trying to cordon off your brain to protect me. To be clear, I'm not a vampire hunter. I don't hunt
Ooh.
vampires.
What would you call it?
I'm seeking some, sure, but a vampire hunter is one that
Would you-
stakes them in the night.
Would you try and kill the vampires if you found them?
I don't think that's really my job title. More the finder, and then the.
Could
If anything,
someone else?
I've saved at least one. I got 2 vampires now.
He's a seeker of curiosities, if anything.
I
Who
think
else
the
might
question
have been
is,
looking?
Rain, why do the vampires know you?
He didn't mention you. He just mentioned a vampire hunter. Could it have been someone else?
No,
Someone in town?
no, the vampires do know Rain.
As much as true, yes, I've said as much. I work for Dez.
So
You told
know
me. Yes, I know him. He's. Good lord.
he's a vampire.
Oh, yes, he's the one that I saved. In a
Yes,
crash.
he is the head of the coven of vampires.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Oh, something just clicked.
That's
Erilyn
where we
mentioned.
got the, he taps on his eye socket thing.
Erilyn mentioned something about a druid that knocked him out of the sky the first time. Could he have been talking about Dez?
Yeah, could have. He's quite capable.
I mean, the only other druid in town that I know of is druids are not mind readers.
Yeah,
Why?
maybe it's not.
Are the
What
vampires
does-
fighting amongst themselves?
Sorry, let me. Rain, what does
Mhm.
Dez want you to do specifically?
Well, to be clear here, I'm sure I've told you in a panic once or twice. Your town has another
Sorry, you're
group
cutting
of.
out. We can't hear you.
Fuck. Your town, does it sound fine? We good? Alright, great. Your town has some infestation of vampires, not of that coven.
No, of
seek-
that coven.
He wasn't quite clear on that part.
I am clearing it up for you.
But then there must have been a splinter faction because he was quite upset about it. I was there to go find them and then stop them from doing ill will to your town.
As you're mentioning this, Julian will set down 5 plates of food for everybody.
Huzzah.
The splinter faction, I believe that he is referring to, does not intend ill will towards the town, but does intend to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
So who does intend ill will toward the town?
Does.
I wouldn't really call it ill will. I spent months with him.
She sort of smiles sadly at that, lowers her gaze and says, "As have I. He's very charming."
As if this is a bit of a revelation. As if you.
Yes.
Princess of Saint... Do tell.
Well, funny enough, I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't know which of us met him first, but the story is very similar. I saved him from death. And as I said, he was very charming. It was a world I had not had a chance to ever get a taste of. The partying, the bonfires, his friends. But I came to understand that he pledges himself to a rather dark force. In a literal sense, in that he wants to blot out the sun so that vampires can walk freely.
In your travels and travails, which part did he mention that to you?
We had very close conversations.
What were the circumstances around you saving his life as well?
It was a simple happenstance. I was patrolling the road with Sanaya and happened to come across him.
Now, let me ask you this. If you've thought about the circumstances, did you actually save his life, or did he put him in a situation where you would stumble across him and think you saved his life? This man seems like he's a manipulator in many different possibilities, and unfortunately, I feel like he's done the same to you.
He is rather reckless. I would not discount what you said, however. He knows how to make people feel warm.
Yes, by making them feel valuable,
Yes.
wanted, welcome. And the perfect way to do so is, you saved my life. You're an angel. You're a blessing. You've done so much for me. Let me return it in kind. And then it's a spiral from there.
All of that tracks except the part where he was very dead and then wasn't. Remember the whole magic flower bit that I've been very pressuring everyone here for? Again, no one with the orchid. Magical orchid. In this town.
Also,
do you
what
need them?
was going on with the harvest? Should we, I don't know, crack open a sunmelon? Has anyone looked inside a sunmelon this year?
I'm sorry, what is the concern with the sunmelon?
You guys said something about something could have been influencing the harvest this year, like some kind of supernatural power. Do the sunmelons like it?
Just that there was an incredible harvest. Larger
Hmm.
sunmelons, more sunmelons, growing faster than usual.
Hmm.
I'm no sunmelon expert. I mean, honestly, agriculture is kind of boring.
She frowns a little and she says, well, I suppose if you want to crack open a sunmelon, we could grab one on the way. But all this to say that I believe our next step is perhaps going north to this druid circle and perhaps confronting Des directly.
While this is happening, Kay uses thaumaturgy again and like opens the window and like tries to waft the smell of breakfast out the window.
Rain, I've been meaning... the white orchid you mentioned.
Yes.
Last night when I was in my laboratory preparing for today, in one of the books I was referencing, an orchid was mentioned over and over and over in one of the footnotes.
Mm-hmm.
And in my research and all my questions, it points to something in this cave. At least I like to think so. Or anything with limestone. But it's also stimulated by psychic powers. And don't you think that's also a coincidence with what else is going on?
I think there are too many coincidences to... Fuck.
Wait, what was the deal with the limestone?
It
This-
sounds like the flower that Rain is looking for may be in a cave made of limestone.
Perhaps, yes, one with magical darkness and aboleth. oozes
Yes.
and a magical sword.
I came
And
in
I've
on
been
a
interested in that
barge full
cave
of it,
for
but I
a
don't know if that's
while.
relevant.
But I think this orchid is the same flower I've been looking for as well.
What is this flower said to do?
I don't know. That's what I aim to figure out.
At least by my own accounts, it raises the dead to things that shouldn't be dead.
It restores humanity to vampire kind?
Oh no, he just stood back up.
It invigorates, brings that which is dead back to life, and that which is to life may live longer.
Sorry, you used one of these orchids on Dez, you're saying.
I didn't particularly know what the orchid was, or that he was a vampire at the time of doing so. It was more it all played out afterwards.
Is he? I think Noe flat out doesn't know what to make of that either.
He was within the rubble. I grabbed what I had on hand, made a prayer, and, well, he lived, I lived, and I got a fancy new life thing. And admittedly, a lot of friends and partying. You're not wrong there.
Yes.
Speaking of spooky underground places, I'm sorry we all kind of locked you in the basement. Did you find anything interesting down there?
Apology accepted, and yes, the Underdark. And oozes and papers. Wine?
Wine?
Oh, yes, I did make a bit of a trade with the nice lads up in the watchtower. Sorry, he looks at Noah. I was sort of locked down there, and I was quite hungry. But no, in terms of, I didn't figure out what your father's machine does. I did find that there is a back entrance stone melding magic. Leads
What
down towards.
machine?
Were you not there for the machine bit?
I was not.
No,
I was
he
definitely.
wasn't.
Yeah. It's a big machine. None of us really quite know what it does. In any case, yeah, her father's basement leads into the Underdark. Oozes. Creepy drow man with ooze. Water.
Fantastic.
It's any consolation, no magic sword, no magic flowers. Oh, I did find this. We did leave it behind. Rain will take out his pack and put it on the table and produce the helmet that they left behind when they went camping.
Now what's this? Is this from the cave that night we spent there? My birthday?
Hey, yes, I circled all the way back around, and that's how I got out.
Huh.
I have no use for it, but it is magical. Perhaps you could paint it a different color so they didn't know.
What type of magic? Can I try and determine?
You can roll Arcana DC 12 in an attempt to determine, Julianne, what you know inherently. This helm has scrying power. It can be located.
Yeah, give it a shot, Tilda.
I rolled a 15.
Tilda, you successfully determine that same information. This helmet has a unique magical property. It can be located.
This is what the Flaming Fists were after.
Oh,
Whose hat is this? Julianne, whose hat is this?
Across the table, whose hat is this?
You don't know whose this is?
I don't think we ever figured it out. Just that it was from someone high level.
Well, so across the table, when the Flaming Fists were here, they were detecting it while looking for the guy who got mauled. Was Kit, right? Elias Kit?
it's Elias Kid and
So-
someone else.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was Elias Kitt's helmet because they were able to detect where his body was as well as where the helmet was at the same time.
I thought they were detecting multiple locations because half of Kit was in a pile in our wheelbarrow and half of him was in someone's stomach. And like on the ground at the
I don't think so because it was towards the cave and towards his body at the same time. I mean, it could have been, but
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is an inference-based thing, and no roll is possible, unfortunately. You are free to...
Oh.
Go ahead.
Rain lifts the helmet back up off the table. That proves to be much less useful than I thought, and perhaps we should hide the evidence in plain sight. Rain will take it over to the altar of Loth and place it next to the paper spider.
You do so. The spider has no eyes, but you feel like it can still see you somehow.
Any other life-altering events in the night that I missed?
Well,
I will sneak a glance away, and then say, "Oh, my mother left town to find my brother, so I don't know why I'm saying this. This doesn't matter to you.
To me, I mean, I care.
So we have 3 places we can go. We can go deal with Des.
Yes.
Des,
We can go find Kaysen's sword of her absent ex-god.
I think the location of that, I feel like we need more information. I mean, supposedly all the elves have gone off to Ishern to go look for it, but to my understanding, Erlen has split off or believes it's somewhere else or is just trying to misdirect us. But it's entirely possible that it's somewhere closer. But I will defer to you all as to where we should go because I am, to no one's surprise, directionless.
The third place we could go, as I understand, is the cave that we slept in to fight an Ooze and Kareen. And
why is that
either
on the table? Why is that an option that you're pondering?
Yes, and I want to express that running into an army or running into an Ooze or Kareen sounds dumb.
Yes. However, hear me out. In addition to finding vampires laden within your city, as a bit of a request. Perhaps we could all work together here. I have the funds. I need a lot of fertilizer on a cart, and that would be the easiest way to go confront Des.
Why?
Because that
What?
was his request for fertilizer.
But I just said we don't want to help him.
Yes, and also, he is a very powerful vampire who may have ill view of you. Not me. I'm safe. I could go say hello. It would be great. But the rest of you are children, or, I'm just saying, to guarantee your safety, perhaps a cart full of fertilizer is an act of goodwill.
And
Would
we
get us
give
a lot
him
longer.
regular dirt, and you can tell him it is fertilizer.
Yes, that would end up with me with a bit of my throat missing, I believe.
Well, we would be on hand to make sure that doesn't happen.
I have a terrible feeling that, a great amount of fertilizer would be under the control of, I don't know, the person who runs the farms, who doesn't like any of us very much. I don't think he would just be. I don't know. Is there anywhere else we could get such a thing? I don't think there is.
Rain just gesticulates towards Julian.
I mean, obviously, I have my own stockpile for my own goods, but I don't think it's nearly enough for your personal request.
Well, perhaps it would be a down payment.
Well,
I couldn't get all of it at once, and clearly we only have so many carts on hand. There's an army on our footsteps. We got as much as we could out as we could.
if you just need a cart full of shit, there's a stable within the inn. I'm sure you could find plenty there.
No. It needs to be more refined.
Then refine the shit. But this isn't... I was under the impression we're going here to stop this fellow, and this is a bit of subterfuge. So
I don't particularly. No offense to anyone here involved. If Des has his mind set on something, veering him off course or stopping him from doing so will prove to be much more difficult than I believe anyone here at this table believes. For just a bunch of children waltzing into the steps of a powerful vampire druid in his grove. What's our plan here?
I don't
I-
understand how a druid can be a vampire.
Yes, this bit is also vexed me, but also I can do. He just kind of flicks his hand forward and tiny petals appear.
There is vampirism in nature as well. It is not necessarily at odds with each other.
Like
But-
bats. Speaking
Yes,
of it, has anyone
exactly.
seen mine anywhere? He seems to be a bit missing.
Now that you mention it, no, I haven't.
He is very dumb. He may just be gone now.
Oh,
When Willoughby comes back from his task, I can have him go search for the bat.
It would be a bit of a comfort, especially if we're going to go meet Des and tell him that we're all going to stop him from.
so we're all, scheming and sticking our noses where they don't belong. Is it weird to anyone else that it seems like the rest of the town's just business as usual? Everyone's just Rick's working at the docks, Ed's working in the fields. Is it weird to anyone else?
For
Like, I
some-
know we've got stuff to do, but
For some, the comforts of a normal routine is all they can cope with.
You have to understand this is the biggest payload that this town will see. For many people, this is their ticket to something better than what they have currently. So this is their highest priority.
is the town behind on the harvest at all because of the elf attack and everything that's happened in the last 2 days? Like, should we? I'm sure the answer
No,
would be
I
no, but
think-
should we offer help?
Should we offer help? No. Ed has everything well in hand. He has a system. He does not like aberrations to his system. There's
He
a
wouldn't
union.
let us
you would
help.
have to join. Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly. He is a boastful idiot, but he is efficient when it comes to getting the harvest.
Is he always
An ass?
like this, or is this?
No, there seems to be something pressing against him, especially
Hmm.
as of late. I thought maybe if we saw Rick along the way, we might be able to get insight from him. There's, I've seen him get focused during times of harvest, but
Rick is at the docks right now, which is unfortunately not the direction we're going.
I know Rick is a kindred spirit to you in some ways, Kason, but
Not
be
anymore.
honest.
I made him mad.
that kid's a bit of an asshole.
Well, I punched him, so now he really doesn't like me.
So I'm glad somebody fucking finally did.
Well, I was pissed that he wouldn't come to the tavern and was just being reckless with his life, and I'd had a very long night, so I punched him. Feel bad about it, but that happened.
Okay.
I think that's one of the only languages he understands.
Let's make some ground rules for what we're doing here, then. I am on particularly good terms with Des. I don't believe him to want to blot out the sun. That doesn't seem to fit with my few months with him. Perhaps. Here, Rain looks across the table. I know someone was fiddling around with the planter that he picked up the night before, but I believe it's been moved around a bit.
Julian would have it.
Did I even find a clay pot?
Are you talking about the round one that you left on the counter last night?
Yes. I think that would elucidate to what's going on here.
Oh,
yes.
Des had a gigantic one of those things way up by the North Road.
Hmm.
How big?
Well, it was a suspiciously person-sized hole, so I didn't want to lean over it, and I really wish I'd paid more attention to him when I was talking to him. I didn't, realize how significant that would be. I don't, big pot. Like you could put a tree in it.
Okay, well, again, I don't think a tree is going to blot out the sun. The fertilizer is for these, whatever the pot is. It has seeds in it. They're for flowers.
Very strange. Well, that was by when you're coming down from the docks, the bend in the road.
It would be
Vaguely over
through
there.
fire. He plans to do it through fire. My concern with the fertilizer is, of course, it is highly flammable.
I don't think... Des is a smart man. I don't think that he's going to try to blow up something to the extent of blotting out the sun. Would it just be smoke? Is that his plan?
You understand him to be very passionate,
Yes.
desirous, and wanting a better world. He speaks about that often, does he not?
About every third sentence, perhaps.
Did you ever ask him who the world he wanted was for?
Rain kind of twists in his chair. It was a bit alluded to me
You?
and him and his friends and presumably those around me.
Presumably, but that's not how it works.
Perhaps a meeting with him.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, so
Ask
Rain,
him about Kusuf.
I'm sorry, whomst?
Kusuf?
One third time. This is not a name that Rain recognizes at all, does he?
Perhaps not. That being said, I will defer to Noe. Please continue.
Sooth.
Osuf.
Sooth, yes. Could I ask you who that is?
An ancient primordial of fire.
He flicks his fingers one last time for
It is
one petal.
the wild fire circle, after all.
And yet he wants to blot out the sun, which is, I don't know, the largest object of fire. Doesn't.
He's covetous of building a flame that he himself provides to heat only those he cares about.
Oh, so he has a small little escape ship.
Rain, I just want to get this straight. So he promised you and him would rule the world.
It wasn't Mr. Ruling. It's a better place. By all means, I do agree with Erilyn on one thing and one thing alone. We disagree on much. Fuck him. I'm glad you turned his griffin above.
He's a brat.
However, I can't say that... I can't say that the people here are doing well. I come see them. It's a nice little summer home, truly, but in terms of being stewards of the land, I do think you may have... You could have done better.
I agree. She looks at Tilda. We want to do better.
And I think Des does too.
So, Rain, I just want to get back to the you two are going to rule the world together thing. Can we... You know how when Kaysen says some stuff, you kind of nod your head and go, yeah, that doesn't sound entirely right, but you're very enthusiastic about it?
I don't like being compared to Kaysen in this particular instance, but yes, I do.
Can we at least entertain the idea that you may have been manipulated?
Go on, I love hypotheticals.
So we'll go in with an open mind, because he's your friend, and, you know, your friends are great, or something. But if he really wants to take over the world, starting with Evening Star, I think I should have something to say about that.
Yes.
And you don't want to take over Evening Star, do you, Rain?
No, I don't.
Now, am I the gullible one here?
Oh, so Noe saves his life, and you are promised part of the world with him. Cool. You're definitely okay.
What? Now I'm confused. Nobody saved him, allegedly. I'm assuming. How long ago was this?
She gestures vaguely.
Are we speaking the terms of months or years?
A manipulator doesn't just manipulate over the span of a week, Rain.
She was more alluding to the fact of who met who first, but
I don't think that
Yes.
matters in the context of this.
Can I ask if he's promised you something specifically?
Half the world, it sounds like.
again, he's not saying that we're going to rule the world. He said he was going to have a better one. Wouldn't you
Yes,
like
but
a
what does
better
that
one?
mean to you? What does that mean?
Less of this. More of this? Fuck.
Better for who? Him or for the rest of us? Context matters.
I suppose we should ask him. Perhaps in a group of friends. I will admit, I don't feel comfortable with bringing back things that don't die. I get that he is a predator, a dangerous thing.
No, I think the first word might have been appropriate.
I think she pauses for a moment and she says, I'm admittedly having a little bit of trouble following, but do you feel maybe responsible for this if it turns out to be true?
If he were to blot out the sun and take over the world, then yes, I would find myself, unfortunately, at the laundry list of reasons why that happened. But
Well,
I just hope that's not the case.
or you should think it was the gods' will that that happened. They love nothing more than to challenge us. Of course, seeing a dying man in the street, you would find it within your heart to help him. I don't think that that's awful. It was his choice to conceal the extent of his malevolence, his manipulations from you.
I don't feel good about any of the words that are coming out of your mouth, but I accept them.
I understand. I've had far longer to come to terms with that than you have.
Well then, perhaps we do throw some horse shit on a cart and drag it right up there. How's that sound?
It's certainly faster than whatever purification you're talking about.
A bunch of orange flowers was the illusions. I did, again, just fighting on his side again. He didn't turn me into a vampire. I thought that was quite promising.
Wait,
I'll confess, I kind of thought you were one for a while, but then Divine Sense didn't pick up anything, so.
I don't lie to you all.
did
Just
you
get that spooky
Prefer me
vibes
to-
sometimes.
did you ask him to turn you into a vampire?
Oh no, I asked him explicitly not to.
Okay, so he's a good guy because he didn't forcibly turn you into a vampire after you asked him not to.
As someone with the capacity to take over someone by doing so, yes.
That doesn't exactly make him a good guy.
Makes him a very gracious host.
No
Rain.
one nods at that.
I have.
So honoring a request, promising you half the world, and suddenly there's
Again, there was no promise of half the world. I'm not going to rule the world with you all. The plan was to plant a bunch of fucking flowers, I thought. Also find the vampires, make sure they weren't eating people, which presumably they're not. Except you. You keep fucking putting your hands in things. Stop. Also, if we are going on ground rules, do not put your fucking fingers in his mouth. Don't do it.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, no. Well, I'm kind of running out of fingers to offer. You know.
Good. Keep them to yourself. Stay with the group. Be safe.
Why do you keep yelling outside,
Sorry,
by the way?
It's just kind of a, just based on my history, it's just kind of a habit to. I'm not going to go into TMI because there's young people in the room, but, just sort of offer myself away kind of thing. It's
Okay, well, let's revise some history and do better.
Julian,
Yes,
is
but-
all you care about
Well,
results?
I don't have much to offer,
Yes.
do I? I'm broke.
I'm not.
I
all
don't
right?
bring much to the table.
Let's all go purchase some nice things, make ourselves feel much better about this uncomfortable morning. Why are you yelling outside all the time? At this point, Ray will go over to the now opened window and I assume just see Yucky standing there.
It's Chucky with a J.
And it's Yucky with a jack.
Yes, Chuck, he's just standing there. Who could possibly understand the inner machinations of his mind?
Ray will flit his fingers across the window, still open. Hello?
Chucky looks over and sees an elf.
I believe one of us wants to give you breakfast many times over, and you just... Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I think I'm piecing some things together, and someone may have had some choice words for calling you something. Sausage, coffee inside.
I'd like to take a fiver, and as a note before you do, just so I don't forget, should you imbibe in Julian's breakfast, you get a minor alchemical inspiration, which is a bardic inspiration that you add 1d4 to.
Hell yeah.
Is that a one-use thing?
It is. It's a one-use thing.
Is that to, sorry, was that to like skill checks, attack roll?
It's skill checks and saving throws, I believe.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
going to put the stew in the fridge. Be right back.
Okay, I will be back in 5 minutes.
Slipped y'all some potion for a little spice.
Can't believe you would spike our food.
Pretty fucked up.
It's just healing potion.
It's a pretty unorthodox episode of Hot Ones.
It's not. Alchemical ingredients, while beneficial to the body, also can taste pretty good.
Can they?
Yeah. I don't see why not. I mean, peppers are good for you to some extent, right? They taste pretty good.
Bacon's pretty good.
No, peppers.
Peppers.
Yeah, peppers are very good at fighting off like microbes.
Yeah. Just take that. I mean, yeah, like dried chilies and stuff are ground up and put into dry medicine all the time. At least that was my idea of thinking. I'm an engineer, not a chemist. gave Sammy some blackberries this morning for lunch. Well, breakfast lunch. And we went upstairs for a little bit to put together some more Hammer figures and came back down. And it's just like his whole face is just like purple. He just like shoved like the berry into like the plastic corner or the corner of the little I guess whatever you call it, the hanging thing that holds the food. And he just like shoved his face into it and it was all stained. And then he was helping me do chores, and I went to wash my hands in the sink upstairs, and just immediately jumps onto the counter and just slams into the water, just starts flopping
Great.
around, and just gets water everywhere. Oh my god, I had to wipe down like the walls and the whole counter and everything. It's just, he was having a time. He really, really likes the waterfall shower head that my standing shower has. So it's like if I just go for like a rinse or something like that, he'll just sit with me in the shower and he'll just like sit on like a little perch and he'll just like steam his feathers and everything. It's really fun. Then he'll just preen. It's very cute.
Hi. Okay, resuming where we were. Oh, no, Ari. Hi. Okay, resuming exactly where we were.
Does Jackie budge at all after being beckoned from the window?
It is. I think Jucky would rather starve than go into an inn with a Loth shrine in it.
Respectable.
So he just kind of turns back and acts like he's doing something, searching for something, while he
Yes, sir.
considers his options.
Sorry to say, Kaysen, I believe your Walker of Bogs is a bit indisposed.
Well, every once in a while, I hope that I'll make a good impression on someone, and then every once in a while, no, always, I don't. When he came into town, his first impression of town in general, and also me, was me like choking the life out of Kiwi with my weapon. So he might be feeling a little weird.
You know they don't breathe, right?
Well, he's definitely not dead because he got up and ran away the next morning.
Yes, this is a learning lesson. They don't breathe.
Oh no, I wasn't trying to kill him. I'm really not. I haven't killed anyone, and I don't want to start.
Also respectable. Can't say the same.
I draw the line somewhere.
Julian will just simply walk outside to the patio and just set a plate of food down. Here, Stray. Have some food.
You just call him a stray.
Can you explain to me what the food Julian cooked was?
Yeah, standard breakfast. So you have hash, sausage, eggs, toast, and a little bit of chopped vegetable. So a little bit of tomato and eggplant.
Is there any coffee?
No?
You could root around in the kitchen, perhaps.
I can brew some up.
If you want to find some, there is.
Okay.
He's desperately searching for.
What makes this shrine Lolth dedicated?
You inspect the shrine no way. You hold up the paper spider. It folds in your hand, less scary than it appears. It seems that a minor illusion was used to create the illusion of spider silk connecting the various carvings on the altar to the walls.
And the carvings on the altar are emblems of love
A 5
directly into the wood, or
They seem to have been carved out of stone. Holding one in your hand, you imagine that divine magic must have been used. There's no way she did this with her hands.
Well, everybody's looking at the window jockey situation. I am going to dump my food out in the kitchen wastebasket. I'll make a stealth or sleight of hand check for that.
I think you can hide it if you want. You
I do want.
You can do so when it's when there's a break in the conversation and it's subtle. You're used to doing this too. This comes naturally to you.
Rain comes up behind Noe as she's inspecting the altar. If I have one last jab, not another lapse of faith, right? We can only hold one per party.
she does laugh a little at that, and she says, "No, I'm just wondering how to sanctify this. If I could, maybe I should leave something of Shantaea here."
I think she'd like that. Noe. He looks over his shoulder a bit and tries to say as hushed as he can. I'm going to really need you to help.
She turns fully towards him and puts a hand on his upper arm, if he allows that.
He does. The words you tell me, and I trust you as best as I fucking can. I haven't told Tilda, or at least I think I haven't. I want the best for you two and those here. If that includes what Des wants, I will do it. If he wants to blot out the fucking sun, I could not let my heart bear that for that little wonderful child. She's grown now, I get it. It's hard. I've watched the two of you from little sproutlings grow up to who you are, and I am so fucking proud of both of you. And I'm sorry if he hurt you. I
think she stops him there. There's like a moment where she doesn't hold his gaze, just sort of to give him the privacy of dealing with this, which she can only imagine to be shame and grief. And she says, "Listen, I've had to accept that I've played a part too, and allowing what evil is hidden in him to beguile me. What he did to me was, as you said, consensual. And I will have to live with that. But I am going to do something good with it."
Good. We'll see to that. You speak of Shantaea. Do you hold a... What do you humans called a relic of faith. What do you pray to physically?
She sort of messes with something. She's wearing her armor. So she pulls out a necklace that's very fine, thin gold chain. There's a lock of silver hair on it. There's a bleached bit of wood there. There's a little bit of enamel that one can assume must have come from a horn shedding of maybe her unicorn, perhaps. And she says, uh, these are all rather personal. When I pray to Shantea, I look at the majesty of the world around me. It's not something that I feel I can hold just by myself. It's there for everyone with eyes to see it.
When Noe says everyone, a really troubling grimace comes over his face. Everyone. I think when we see Des, I want you to wear that thing proud and open. And if things go poorly, we'll do it together.
She nods at that and says, I think you're really brave.
I think I need to see this through. If you would, Rain kneels down a bit and rummages through his pack and pulls out a little blood-stained quartz fob. It's like the end of what a keychain would be. If you would. I think Shantae would like this one too.
She smiles and accepts it from him and goes to arranging some interleaved mixture of Shantae's presence there on the altar with Lolth's icons as well.
Let's do some fucking good. No way.
Yeah.
He composes himself the best he can and turns chest puffed out back to the group.
In the meantime, Kason is leaning out the window like a spaghetti noodle, and there's just an entire pitcher of coffee in his hands, and he just downs like half of it, and then sort of shakes himself off and looks at Chucky, and he's like, "Hi, sorry, I know I made a really weird impression last night. We're off trying to deal with vampires, Underdark, army of elves, weird artifact." And he just attempts to ramble out an explanation of like literally everything in the span of about 18 seconds and makes zero amount of sense. It's just like, what was your name?
Chucky just begins moving south.
That's probably the right response.
Meanwhile, Julian has set up an alembic on the table with some coffee in it and is showing Tilda how to do perfectly brewed coffee.
Tilda will engage with this, happy to learn some random shit.
Are there actually sun melons behind the counter, or is that just a map detail?
Let me see what you're looking at. I'm looking at a different map right now.
Behind the bar counter, I see little melons on the ground. Is that just like a map sprinkle, or is that a melon?
Just very good eye. Just a map sprinkle.
All right. Well, when we've all eaten and when we're ready to go, I think we should not let the day waste away.
Agreed. It's a bit of a trek.
I recall the Druid Road is northeast of the town, correct?
I can lead you there. Again, not the paddlings underfoot. I feel like we aren't fully whole. No one's
Yeah.
seen him.
The goblin? No.
Came into our life so quickly and left so quickly as well. So be it.
He seemed to be a bit of an itinerant traveler. I'm sure he's simply made for less interesting locales.
He is a goblin, so
Julian,
let's say he probably saw shiny and wandered off that
you're
way.
always so unnecessary.
Okay.
I mean, he did kind of pickpocket. So
Hey,
I am stating facts.
He saved my brother, that is a fact.
That is a fact. Did he also steal other things? Yes. That is a fact. Is he a little scamper of a guy? Sure.
I was. It looks like Rain's in the momentum of trying to leave the tavern at this point, but as he's pushing out his chair and addressing Julian, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and if he's not here to tell you, he told me in confidence they do have birthdays. They have birthdays. Would you believe it? Goblins have birthdays.
why wouldn't they?
Fine, take your gold. You have no reason to lie.
Leave it on the counter.
At least try some of the coffee.
Did she actually produce coffee? I'm sorry.
Yes.
He probably has the cup in his hand as he's leaving the tavern.
he is like walking out with the pitcher and realizes he still has it and just finishes the whole thing and like places it on the table and leaves.
All right. One last Chucky harassment interaction. Noe walks
God.
up to him. Do you have any luck finding your charge, I presume, Marilyn?
Oh, you know Stinkbug?
Jucky turns around and he says, yeah, I think I know where he is.
All right. It seems like you are heading towards Isharan.
I might be.
All right. Just so that you have all of the cards on our table, there is someone among us who thinks that he rather split off, as he has told him he intended to. He
I
may
gave-
be. Sorry, yes, she gestures towards Kason.
Oh boy.
I gave Stinkbug like a lot of blood, and I think when you give vampires a lot of blood, they become a little loose-lipped. He said he was not heading to Isharan.
He
said
looks
it-
between the two of you.
He said his father was, but he thought that Alcenarat was wrong about that, and that it was somewhere closer here.
We intend to head north to confront a vampire elder. It may very well be the vampire that turned your charge. Perhaps they know each other.
Jucky is doing math.
Oh yeah, the one
Like
you saw
woman
me
doing
choking,
math
that was
meme.
also a vampire.
Rain is also doing math.
You believe Captain Ireland is a vampire?
He's gonna like give a thumbs up and show him his like very vampire bit in the finger.
And so it just looks like a regular wound, like he just cut himself. And Jucky's like, "Oh, is he okay?"
I mean, does it look like off the across the table? Does it look like the dude with a pauldron for Lathander and a pauldron for Ilmater is okay?
He's had an interesting couple of days, but
We're also looking for a shiny sword, if that interests you.
A shiny sword.
I originally came here looking for some artifact that I really wasn't interested in, and I think that's what everyone else is looking for too, so seems I'm not very original. And this is like the same sort of symbol that I'm assuming Soul had like plastered all over him.
Jucky kind of stands up straight and crosses his arms. You think there's an artifact here?
I mean, it's where my feet led me.
More to the point, Erilyn seems to think that it's here.
And you said Erlen's still here.
I do not know. I have no proof saying that he is. He may be here, he may be north. I am merely giving you the evidence that we have accrued that he is not south in Isharan.
So after we saw him, gosh, what was it, last night? Noah, you and I saw him down at the elf encampment. No one saw him after that? Or like heard where he was? I was gone when the elves were leaving, so.
Across the table, did Ed explicitly say he was speaking with Erilyn during the night?
He did to Jucky. I don't know who else he said that to.
Okay, then no, it doesn't say that.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who was in that.
There is some information that only Jucky possesses.
I'm sorry. Where did you say y'all were headed?
Northeast to a druid circle.
And there's a vampire there.
Yes.
Probably several.
Yes.
Jucky kind of thinks it over. Because he thinks Arlen might go there. Maybe he's kind of putting together that maybe this vampire is the one who turned Arlen, and maybe that's what Ed told him. I don't know how much he would know, but I think it's like common myth that if you kill the vampire that turns another vampire, that maybe they're no longer a vampire, right? Even if that's not true, it's something that's commonly believed. And so he's like, oh, maybe he's headed up there to kill him. So I think he's going to agree to, yeah, I could see that. How about you show me where this vampire is yours?
Gladly. We're just about getting ready to set off. What is your name again?
Jucky. He holds out his hand.
I'm Arsinoe Saint Cyr, and she takes his hand, but in such a way she like perches her hand on top of his, and that like, oh, you may kiss it sort of gesture.
This confounds Jucky, and so like, oh man, he's like, oh man, this is some kind of like human like handshake fist bump thing, and so he mimics it and puts his hand on top of your hand.
She sort of blinks at him.
Yeah. Well, alrighty then, and then he just kind of pulls his hand back.
They have this interaction. They're both mystified.
There's a strong cultural barrier here.
How is it? I'll just butt in with my shit. How is it that all these vampires can just walk out in the sun?
I think
Asking everybody.
Erilyn was saying it was something to do with that artifact, or something about that or Evening Star itself.
Then it would make sense why he would think the artifact's an Evening Star. If he can walk out in the sun here.
I mean, that'd be an easy way to test it. Take vampire, move them in a direction, it stops working, you're getting farther from the artifact.
I personally wouldn't try that.
We could triangulate in a sense.
Yeah.
While some experiments can be done, maybe we shouldn't do them.
Wiser words. In second thought, I fucking hate carts. No cart, no fertilizer. We walk.
Are you sure?
Oh,
That's
yes.
such a mood. Hi, everyone. This is Chucky.
Hi, Chucky. It seems that everyone implicitly trusts you immediately. I love this. I'm Rain.
Well, I implicitly trust everyone immediately, so it's not personal.
Chucky
Oh.
tips his cap.
I'm gonna walk up to him and be like, "So you talked to Ed, and you're a bounty hunter. Are you supposed to kill him?"
If that were the case, he would already be dead.
Okay.
How much would you want?
Are we offering? We buying blood now?
No, I just don't like Ed.
Fair.
Well, no one likes me. Are we putting bounties on me?
You're not gonna just kill us, are you?
Would
If
you
you
give
are,
me?
you have to say so.
Would you give me a reason to? Like Chucky can't imagine a reason why he would have to hurt anyone here. It's such a weird, straightforward question.
Let's
I've
start with lighter questions. Where are you from?
Swamp Town.
Hey,
I'm sorry,
I'm from Border Town. I think I had a name at one point, but I got drunk and I forgot it. Now I can't find my way back home.
Rain quips to you in Elvish. Swamp Town, like those words. Swamp Town, and it just translates to that.
Yeah.
All right, we really got to zhuzh that up for the humans. They aren't going to take that one quite well.
Chucky just gives the biggest possible shrug.
What is the word for Swamp Town in Elvish? Or do you want me to just butcher it?
Bog.
You find yourselves on the Northern Road as you talk. Feel free to butcher it, Rain Danavir.
It's Aaron Thin. It's much prettier in Elvish.
Everything is.
Yes.
I assumed we got a bit of sunmelon from the field as we passed.
Would have been, sure, you did. You swipe a less appealing sunmelon, hoping that this will not arouse the suspicion of people working the fields. It is in your pack, Tilda. It's idyllic here.
It's still early, right?
It is. Before noon. Looking at the sky, you judge it to be mid-morning.
Any fresh tracks on the road?
There are almost too many to determine. This road is so heavily used that it's difficult to tell one track from the other. Leaning down in the mud, Arsinoe, you see that certainly it's been in heavy use in the past 24 hours.
I feel a little better that we're in a group, but let's be careful around this road. So far, I've met 2 vampires here.
I'm going to show the sunmelon chunk to Kaysen.
Well,
What I got.
Hold on one moment. When you say sunmelon chunk, this thing is a whole melon. This thing is a large
whole
green
melon.
You have a whole melon. Yes.
Ah, okay.
It would take some it would take some tools perhaps to get this thing open, or definitely a quiet spot on the ground.
Wonderful. I take the sunmelon into both of my arms. My back bends as I try to counterbalance this giant weight. And I unceremoniously shove it into Kaysen's hands.
Okay, who's gonna be brave enough to lick this thing?
Isn't this kind of your thing?
Very
Yes,
looking.
unfortunately.
Just open it.
So we break it open, right? I mean, we might as well let's be dramatic about it. And he like puts it on the ground and just like he's doing some kind of strength contest at a fair, just whack with his maul.
Chunks of green-skinned, orange-fleshed melon fly everywhere. The smell is intensely sweet. There is an arc of orange juice that lands on anyone watching this. It smells fresh and floral. For a moment, the entire scene smells like melon.
Knowing next to nothing about agriculture, but having a fairly good knowledge of knowing when a food is off, because that's literally what he has to survive on, is just unidentifiable foods. Can I make some kind of check, like nature or something along those lines, and just peer at
Survival?
it?
I'll give you guidance. You get a +4. Sorry, not +4. Add a D4.
He doesn't really know what a melon's supposed to look like, but he's just looking for anything like discoloration or just anything odd about it.
You accept a chunk of the melon flesh into your hands. A dribble of orange juice slides down your wrist. Looking at the flesh, it seems, if a bit seedy, perfectly serviceable. It smells sweet and reminds you of other forest fruits, Kaysen of Ilmater.
Okay. Tilda, I think here's the plan. We're gonna treat this like when I ate a bunch of nightshade, like poison, like deadly nightshade. Because it's fine if it's ripe, you know.
And rush you to the apothecary?
No.
Right
So what I'm gonna
here.
do, I'm gonna start by just holding it in the good hand. Then I'm gonna sniff it. Then I'm gonna lick it. And we're just gonna keep going from there with more exposure and just make sure there's nothing weird about it. I think it's fine. If it's fine, I'll eat it.
Okay, so what are you looking to figure out?
I don't know.
What
there's something
is
weird
the
about it.
matter with you?
It's up there.
Rainbow.
We're not hurting anybody except for the melon.
Rain will
It's
mumble
a
to Jackie.
melon.
I'd love to say that they're not always like this, but they're always like this.
I was gonna ask, is this some kind of weird
Nope, just
ritual or
real normal for them.
It's not the worst thing I could be getting up to, okay? It's keeping me occupied.
Some melons aren't poisonous, but do you have an antidote just in case? Rain.
Case, when you run an experiment, you must run a control.
Okay.
So I
I
should
don't
eat it.
either,
No.
so.
I think Noe spontaneously says, I can detect the presence of poison or disease.
I can't
Oh.
anymore. So.
Oh, let's use magic.
She'll cast Detect Poison and Disease on the melon.
You cast Detect Poison and Disease, summoning the power of Shantae to determine, is this potable? Is this whole and pure? You detect nothing, Arsinoe.
There are no contaminants here. It's perfectly natural.
He like takes a slow lick of the melon, like trying to do it like kind of sneakily when no one's looking. He's just kind of like awkwardly just like cradling the little melon slice as all the rest of the melon carcass is just on the ground.
I do admit, I kind of liked it when he wasn't around. But I'll grow used to it.
I have no words.
It's very sweet. Certainly inoffensive, if a bit oversweet for your taste. You think it might be good mixed into something, Kaysen, but certainly inoffensive on its own.
He's just like kind of looking back at Jucky and like kind of self-consciously looking at his shoulders. He's like, You're not gonna make a Lysander joke? Like everybody does. I mean, I know I'm not a paladin of Lysander anymore since like 4 a.m., but you're not gonna make a joke about the armor? Really? Everyone does.
Chucky just shakes his head.
What's this? Is that there before?
You rack your brain, Kaysen of Omater, trying to determine, was this overturned cart here before? It looks to be in disrepair, a bit mossy even. Looks like a small jack cart, the kind of thing that would be used to ferry things, potentially from the docks into town quickly. Either way, it's
When-
completely broken now.
Why are there so many abandoned cars around?
Because that's what they do. That's what they do. That right there. That's what carts do.
No one fixes them?
No, they turn over.
In fact, native Evening Starans, you know that this happens at a much larger scale. Timber from up in the mountains is used to create rafts to take things down the Starwater. At the end of the journey, the rafts are simply broken down for wood.
I'm gonna ask Kaysen. So
Does some
you had a fight with a vampire around here last night, did you not? You said it was on the North Road.
right up ahead. I would kind of like to. What? Is there something over there? Yeah, QE was originally going to offer me haste, although I think he might have just been lying to me. I wouldn't tell him about any vampire hunter, and then he tried to kill me, and then I choked him out. And last I saw he was unconscious. What the hell am I looking at?
Is Kaysen wandering off?
He's like trying to stay with you, but he's also jogging ahead trying to see what the hell he's looking at.
I am on Swift Kaysen containment duty. If you deviate from the road, I'm going to try and heft you back toward the road.
No, he's looking at this.
This
Yes,
look-
sounds like yes. So I will try and heft you back toward the road.
He's near it. He's just looking at this thing.
This
You
looks like
looking at the bush?
No, this.
It's a signpost.
Oh,
Is it?
it's a signpost. That's exactly right. That's exactly what it is. The signpost seems to have been scorched, perhaps deliberately.
Okay, on my screen, because I'm looking at it on the TV that doesn't have a lot of pixels, I thought it was like a burned body. So, nix the last couple seconds of panic.
It's
It looks
Can I
like
make
a.
Go ahead.
Can I make out what it used to say? Can I run my hands across it?
You run your hands across it. Roll insight to attempt to determine the purpose of this signpost. DC 8.
So hard. I fail.
You feel along the front of this signpost and think the letters must have gotten burnt off.
This was where Kiwi was camped out last night. I wonder if he just used it as a light source. Burned
Why would
for
it be
light.
burned?
Just for light, maybe.
Obfuscate directions.
Just for light. We're in the middle of a forest. There's branches everywhere. Why would you burn the signpost?
Yes, truly a mystery. I have novellas for those. More questions to jab at the map ahead of us. Is this a tiny flower or a little sprout of a tree?
I think that was it a torch.
If you're looking,
Or is it a torch?
Are you looking one southwest of you on where Noe is?
Yes.
You see a torch sconce.
I don't think it was for light. I'll just gesture towards the torch sconce on the ground.
Well, maybe vampires get chilly.
And having knowing where we're going, are we taking the small little road to the northeast, or are we going straight more north, Mike?
You are going northeast. You, of
Gotcha.
course, know this inherently. You are following the torches, following the sconces.
I imagine there's so much of both of their blood dried all over the ground right here.
Wait, this is the way Junkie came in, right?
Jucky, yes. Jucky appeared from the forest in this general...
He apparated.
Yes, whatever that word means.
Okay.
And,
Sorry, what were you saying, Tilda? I got distracted. I just saw something odd and burned. It's nothing.
Nothing. Kason, I'm trying to make sure you don't wander off.
I won't. Like, I saw a dead body last night. Despite my attempts to keep my mood light, I'm feeling at least a little more clear-headed.
Kason, I'll be honest. I'm concerned about you.
Oh, everyone did.
I don't know about that.
I mean, no one thinks I have my faculties about me, including myself. I'm at least self-aware.
Is this another torch sconce?
It is.
Here, let's catch up. I think 2 of the people here know the route.
Oh.
What's to the southwest here? This like little rocky outcropping.
Give me one moment. To the southwest, yes, what you just pinged. That's exactly what it is. It's a effective overlook. It's a rock sort of positioned at the edge of the tree line there. You sense that it could be a good vantage point, especially for people coming down this road. This road leads upward to the northeast. You're taking it?
Can I make a quick
Can
I make a quick perception check?
to determine?
Just to see if I like feel like I'm being watched or anything like that. Just any signs of movement in the trees.
It sounds like you already feel like you're being watched. The paths up the mountain are well worn. The trails here are furrowed deeply, as if thousands of feet have walked them unrelentingly for many short lifetimes or one long one.
Is this still considered part of Evening Star?
May I
Is it a rhetorical question? Or I'm sure some nobleman's laid claim to it. Doubt that it holds much weight here, but
Who does own this land, Kason? Whose continent are you trekking on?
Noe turns a little towards Kason and she says, "What are you trying to determine when you ask that?"
Just if anyone has from Evening Star comes up here, like is this a place where, teenagers can make bonfires, I guess? Or just, has anyone been here before? Besides
Besides the druids?
just trying to figure out if this is considered far from town. How far it is from
I don't
It's-
think any of us would come up here for fun.
Well, some people do, but it is a place that we're warned against by our parents.
Under a mossy overhang, Rain, you spy something spying you. It's your bat, Licorice,
oh,
waiting
What the fuck?
under a mossy ledge.
things are looking up. Things are looking much better today than I anticipated, given all things. All right. Brain will hold his arms out like an anteater would.
You do so with a irregular, flitting gait through the air. Your bat comes over and lands on your forearm. It seems excited, elated, like something has happened. Do you commune with Licorice?
Don't think Rain can. He assumes it's a really dumb animal that's been following him for a couple of months.
It
I
seems like
love you, though.
it seems like it would love to share something with you if only it could. When you tell it you love it, it flits around happily.
Yes, I saved something just for you. He rummages around into his breast pocket and produces the little thimble from the jelly that the elves gave him in his little Lunchable, and holds it out to him.
You do so. It, with its tiny bat face, it wolfs down the jelly.
Yay. Alright, let's not run off again for a few days, and he'll open his breast pocket up, or roughly where he has situated him into his coat.
You do so, situating Licorice inside your coat.
He pats it. Well, that's quite reassuring. Do watch your step, the gradation gets a bit wild at times, as he points up the hill. I'm sure you'll be fine.
There's a suspicious lack of swords over here.
A suspicious lack of swords.
Lack of swords.
Why would they keep a sword at the bottom of the hill?
I don't know, because no one would look for the hill.
Arsinoe. The land here is very old. The greenness of the valley by the river is gone up here. The grasses begin to yellow, and the trees are denser and taller. The mountains continue to rise in the east. There's a small outcropping you are approaching that seems to be composed of the same crumbly limestone as the other hills of the southern Stormhorns. Down by the river, this creates rich land. Up here, crags.
What are they hearing in ambient sound?
You hear the intense din of insects. Even this late in the year, there's the hum of cicadas, and when you pause for a moment, you find that anything that got sunmelon juice on it is attracting little swarms of angry gnats. In the distance, there are bird songs. As you get closer to the top of this trail, the wind buffets your hair gently.
Kaysen's gonna offer, like, the rest of the sunmelon slice to the bat.
Yeah.
You like melon?
Rain will pull the breast pocket aside and assume his little head will pop out.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
Yes. Does he accept the sun melon?
He does, as you intended.
Good.
Is it normal for there to be insects this late in the year?
It seems a little bit out of character, doesn't it, Chucky?
I would imagine so.
Your suspicions grow.
What about the weather?
It's a cool morning. You estimate perhaps 45 degrees. Especially as you get higher up here in elevation, the wind picks up and it really cuts through you quite a bit. The sun is out and it is a chilly, sunny autumn morning.
I assume the air gets drier as we gain elevation.
You're exactly right, and getting away from all the water down in the riverbed, down in the river valley.
Does this look like a well-worn path?
It does. It does look like a well-worn path. In fact, periodically, you see a sconce in the rock, in a tree. From up above you, you hear a rhythmic sloshing sound.
Is it the sloshing of water or is it a slime slosh?
Hard to say.
Would Jucky know what this sound is?
No.
Really? Okay.
Does it smell weird? A
All
smelly
you,
sound?
all you smell now is mountain air. You sniff the air. You smell the moss of the overhang near you. Curiosity gets the better of you, and you kick a pebble down below.
Are these torches like well attached to the ground or kind of just shoved in the dirt?
This one seems like it's shoved in the dirt, but it looks like it's been there for quite some time.
Is there like anything left of it?
Yes, the sconce itself would easily accept a torch.
Oh, okay. It's like a torch holder. I see.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
I was going to try to abscond with a torch in case we go back inside the cave / Underdark. It does not.
Is anyone particularly struggling during this hike?
Mentally, but no.
Julian's doing her best.
The one who hikes for a living is doing pretty.
I will clear the area between my hand and the saber in case I need to use it. I think I'm as we walk in silence and hear the various sounds that are probably not natural, tensions arising.
Yeah, I also am going to have my weapon in my hand as I see Tilda doing this.
Is there a notable shift in temperature as we get closer to the peak?
It's getting colder as the elevation increases. Like it's getting colder and drier. Passing around this corner, Arsinoe, and everyone behind her immediately, you see something. A large pillar of fire. It's standing there gently flickering. And as you approach, even though it has no face or features, you can tell it's looking at you. It's studying you. And begins to slowly approach.
It is new, right? That he just looks to know it. Somewhat
Everyone else is
flabbergasted.
seeing this, right?
If you are coming around the corner, you see this.
No, he says this out loud, as in I'm not hallucinating, right?
No, you're not. Noe will use her divine sense to do a quick vibes check.
You use divine sense. You sense there is something alive, something sentient within this elemental. It doesn't seem evil to you. It doesn't seem to be a fiend, a devil, or a demon.
I think she hasn't reached for her weapon yet, and she says, I do not think it means us any harm, and it's not an aberration that I can tell.
Rain, the fire elemental approaches you. You can feel its heat.
Hello. Rain will kneel down slightly and rummage through his pack for a little. The tinderbox basically is the stuff that he puts into his sensor. He'll flit some towards it.
Its tendrils pop and crackle. You toss something toward it. It quickly envelops the bit of tinder. The entire elemental briefly glows in size.
Hilda, I'm really trying to not run off right now, but you know I'm terrified of fire by now.
It's a
We
creature made of fire.
It's still fire.
It is just wandering off now.
That's exactly right.
Hasten, they're druids of the flame. This
I
is not the
know.
last fire you're gonna see.
I know, that's why I'm trying to keep my cool.
I think it'll be alright. And if it's not, well, there's 6 of us.
it seemed to work. So, confidence, confidence, confidence. Rain will clench a fistful of the stuff instead of trying to rummage through his pack for the next time.
Could just simply be a servant to.
Most likely, yeah.
And we have not offended, so why would it?
They are new, though. They are new.
I imagine.
I've heard stories of very powerful druids able to change their forms into something purely elemental, but
Well, yes, and before I had to turn to the intricacies of alchemy, wizards were known to just be able to summon them.
I wonder how it feels to be perpetually fire.
I imagine it feels much like a very bad rash. Just the heat on your skin all day. You can't do anything about it. And just scrapey and dry.
Jucky, have you ever seen anything like that?
No.
Oh, another one.
For a moment, the fire elemental in front of you is if there are 2. It seems to split as a flame does, and then quickly it coalesces back into a single pillar of flame. This one seems taller than the last.
These will do our due diligence. And Rain will again flip the tinderbox. It's the smoked chamomile and lavender. That should be the wafting scent as it hits the flame.
You do so. For a moment, the flame envelops what you've given to it. It grows in size. There's a puff of smoke above it. And then it quickly resumes its normal form. It swirls around you for a moment, Rain.
Hello, do you understand us?
A face of fire peers back to you, Noe. It crackles and pops. The sound of oxygen burning.
I guess I'm not quite sure what to say. They seem satisfied patrolling.
Are they guard something? Or just observe? Does it smell any different over here?
You can smell something distant in the air, case, and you sniff the air as you do, sniffing around for something smelly. You can smell what smells like a caustic chemical, maybe. The smell reminds you of something or somewhere. It's distantly familiar, Kason, but it's on the tip of your brain.
I will look at Rain and point left and point right and gesture an open question.
Is that right? Rain will point right.
Tilda will start moving right.
Do they see anything up the hill to the left?
It obscures your line of vision. You can smell something up there, but you can't see anything. It's a You'd have to scramble up this rock outcropping. There are footprints here suggesting that someone has traversed it recently. You wonder potentially if whoever is up there doesn't want to be found. It would be a nice place to hide Arsinoe.
Does it smell kind of like an oil or a preservative?
More like a preservative than an oil. You can smell it too.
From my memory, where is it? Well, maybe. I don't think that's going to be them. Whoever's up there.
Alright. Smells preservatives. The only things I can think of that would be used out here is for hides and meat.
Maybe someone tanning?
Mayhaps.
In the middle of all these elementals? I don't get it. The grove is to the right, yeah?
Yes. Those things have changed in the past few odd days since I've left. I don't think they had anything to do with this. My bubble of confidence is waning, and I think that if I don't continue in that direction, it will burst. So, if you wish to scramble up and speak to a nice old man sitting in the woods, tanning hides and drying meats, go ahead. I will continue onward.
I'm following you, Rain.
I'm on a meddling hiatus, so coming right along.
We may be able to see down from an upward vantage point anyway.
Possibly.
Too bad we don't have that goblin. He was very good at tree climbing.
I did like him.
He was a bit endearing, wasn't he?
As this road rises, you can start to smell the oil of a torch burning. Roll perception, DC 16. Hold up your hand if you pass.
I'll give Chucky guidance, so Chucky can add a D4.
We have 2 crits, so
I think with your multiple 20s on die, many 20s on die, you as a group, determine 2 things. One, you're being watched. You can see the silhouettes of someone studying you on a major rock outcropping to the southeast. And you realize that perhaps by design, this might be the only way in and out of here.
Are we walking into, dare I jinx this and say it out loud, a trap? This seems a bit like a funnel.
It is, and it's intentional.
I mean, most defensive points are. If this is where they want to build a community, it's the most logical thing to do. And we are the visitors, trap or not.
Interspersed in the tree line here are distinctive red trees.
Am I correct that the ground here is like singed? That's the effect that's being gone for here?
You are correct. And in fact, you start to notice that occasionally there are singed trees. Roll nature to determine if there's any significance to the burn marks and the ashes, Tilda. DC 12.
11.
You see that trees have been burnt.
Crazy.
I've not seen a tree with that vibrant plumage before. Especially in late autumn.
How long has this journey taken us?
You come to realize that it must be past noon. Hiking up this mountain took a major chunk out of your day, and the sun is now high in the sky. It must be over 50 degrees. It's getting warmer, even as you get higher up here, as the afternoon drags on. Occasionally, you hear the cry of a griffin far, far away across the valley.
Did anyone bring water? I'm getting kind of thirsty.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
I'll take from Juliet.
Yep. I'll just hand you my canteen of normal water.
I will wet my whistle on canteen of normal water and hand it back. Thanks.
Of course. The other canteen is for brewing potions, mind you. We only drink that when we're out of the regular water.
Did Tilda and Kaysen still have their weapons drawn?
I don't have my weapon drawn, but, my hand is hovering. I'm like resting my hand on the hilt. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Mine is loosely in my hand, which is like, it's kind of near my hip. It's not like held out in front of me. Like, if I don't see trouble, I will put it away.
Jockey's weapon never leaves his hands.
Here goes fucking nothing. Rain will take point and walk down.
I'll stand here. It'll be okay.
I mean, it is a melee short range weapon, so let's see, walk right up to one.
Rain. As you approach, Des gives you a warm, honest smile. He makes long eye contact with you as he closes the distance between you. You have read Eyes Compared to Embers before, but the splendor and beautiful intensity being lowered upon you now makes you curse the writers that say that. He approaches you and embraces you. I have missed you. And we cut the session right there.
Well, fuck.
Are you gonna introduce us to your boyfriend?
Yeah, why'd you have to make all the villains hot?
For real.
Is Des hot? Maybe literally.
Yeah, look at that flame in the background.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's the
I
one
would-
smoking.
I
That
wouldn't be.
disarming, roguish smile.
He is silhouetted by the fire behind him.
I can't recall because it's been a number of sessions. Is Des an elf or a human?
He's a human.
On a scale of 1 to human, how human?
Extremely. Well, thank you for letting me cliffhanger you. Can
You
every-
said
Son of a
Ready
bitch.
for it.
I think you're gonna do it regardless, though.
I was. Can everyone play 1 week from today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be the first.
Oh, that's my birthday weekend.
Happy
It is.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hey, it's next Thursday.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, this was a wonderful session, one of my favorites. Thank you so much for everything. Good night.
GN.